Coming up next weekend is the 6th annual Mississippi Gourd Festival. It takes place Friday and Saturday, September 18th and 19th at the Smith County Ag Complex in Raleigh. To whet your appetite for this year's festival, we're going to return you to last year's. Gourds used to be prized for their utility. There's evidence of their use as far back as 10,000 BC. In the present day, the Mississippi Gourd Society is tapping into the plant's history, unique shape, and its versatility, and what it offers for art and functionality. Farmweek's Amy Taylor visited the 2014 festival.
When you think of what gourds are used for, the first thing that comes to mind is probably birdhouses. But over the past several years, gourders, as they're called, have come up with countless new ways to make them into works of art. With the right technique, some gourds don't even look like gourds. Paul Grubbs, chairman of the 5th annual Mississippi Gourd Festival, says they come in almost any shape and size you can imagine.
There are many different varieties of gourds. We only have a fraction of those that are available for our display here, but they're fun to grow. People love to just watch them. I go out every day and look at them and see how they've changed. Gourds have been around for thousands of years. Man has used them as tools and as vessels for thousands of years. The different shapes and different varieties determine what the use of the gourd is.
Additionally, Grubbs says gourd art makes great gifts for anyone for every occasion.
There's something for everyone in a crafted gourd. There's Christmas-themed painted gourds. There are stained gourds that they make Christmas ornaments for the tree.
One of the new artistic styles is etching designs into the gourd. Wood burning is also extremely popular, and there's even a leathering technique using leather dye. Additionally, gourds can be designed using any theme you can think of, and they even make great musical instruments. One of the unexpected uses is to make them into lamps, hanging light fixtures, and even jack-o'-lanterns. Grubbs says planting and harvesting gourds is similar to growing watermelons or pumpkins. The difference is, when harvested properly, gourds can last for years to come. Mississippi Gourd Society outgoing president Susan Byra explains the process.
You plant in spring and they mature, the vine will die in the fall, and you can leave the gourds on the vine all winter, or you can pick them up and store them where air circulation can get to them. You don't want them inside the house, because part of the way the gourd cures is to actually evaporate all the water inside of it, and it creates mold on the outside of the gourd.
Gourds must be set on a dry surface to cure until the shell is dry and hard. Never cut or drill into a gourd that hasn't cured. Susan Byra and Paul Grubbs talk about the techniques they like to use.
I try to shape some of them sometimes with different products, like use some lumber to make a square gourd instead of a round gourd.
And it's an opportunity to really express yourself. And you can do anything to a gourd you can do to a piece of wood.
Furthermore, probably one of the biggest mysteries of gourd design is how to actually tie one in a knot. Glenn Burkhalter with Gourds by Glenn and Carolyn answers the question about this phenomenal craft.
I bet I've been asked that 10,000 times in the last 15 years. So I've kind of got that down pat, I think. The knot itself, you have to do it when it's real tiny gourd. The gourd is there, and when it's blossomed about 3 days after the bloom with a little gourd on it, and when it's hot and humid, and the hotter the better, and the more humid the better. So around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, take a small gourd, and let's let the gourd itself hang over a leaf or a vine or a wire and bend itself for 24 hours. You know, it'll do that naturally, and it's not going to break itself. You go back the next day and you do the loop. You get the little gourd down through the loop. Go back the third day and slide that little gourd down till the neck is sticking out of the loop. The first time you try it, you're probably going to break 10 out of 10. But if you keep trying it, you'll get the hang of it.
Additionally, Burkhalter explains how he also makes gourds look twisted.
I use stockings from pantyhose to wrap these gourds and make them twist. You know, they see me, and I collect them. One year I used 125 pairs of pantyhose.
To celebrate the evolution of crafting gourds, the Mississippi Gourd Society has been hosting the Gourd Festival since 2010. Susan Byra tells the story of how Mississippi started its own society.
I had a friend of mine who was teaching me how to do pine needle rims on gourds and gourd work. And we went to the gourd artist gathering in Cherokee, North Carolina. I decided that, there were too many good gourd artists in Mississippi, that we needed our own society. So there was a friend of ours who had a gourd festival at a private one at her place. And so in 2007, I set up a tent and a table and I started taking names. And we formed the Gourd Society in September of 2007.
In addition to hosting the festival, Mississippi Gourd Society keeps an updated website, Facebook page, and sends a newsletter to its members in January and July. Furthermore, the festival offers classes to those who want to learn the craft. Byra explains how the techniques for classes are chosen.
You just have to come up with a technique that you think people would be interested in. And when we send out the call for teachers, we evaluate, whether we think it's old hat or something new. And we're always, we like the tried and true stuff, but we also like to have a new technique or two each time.
With so much interest growing for this craft, it seems there's no end to what you can do with a gourd. Whether you like trendy items, intricate woodworking, chic, modern art pieces, or beautiful wood stains, there's something for everyone in gourd art. From Raleigh, Mississippi, I'm Amy Taylor reporting.
You can watch this story again on our Farmweek website, our Facebook page, or YouTube. Now, the 2015 Gourd Festival will be held Friday and Saturday, September 18th and 19th in Raleigh. The hours are 8 to 5 both days. Admission is $2, children 12 and under free. There will be early bird gourd craft classes on Friday the 18th. The festival is always held the third weekend of September. You can get in touch with the Mississippi Gourd Society at their website, MississippiGourdSociety.org. They're also on Facebook. We'll have that information on our website, farmweek.msucares.com. Now, Layton, I want to say if you're not living in Mississippi, there are gourd societies everywhere. So get on the web, check it out, and chances are there's somebody in your state that's into gourds, and you can do it as well.